6 more seconds to the end-ins, doo-da, doo-da. 6 more seconds to the end-ins, doo-da, ding-dong, ding. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of NevaeH Paradise Lost. This is episode 5. I don't know what I named it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I put episode 5. Might have put episode 4 again. I'll fix that in post. In the meantime, say hi, players.
Not
Hi,
play.
players.
Hello, players. Come on, time.
Playa.
So it looks like we may be transitioning to. I did put 5. Okay, good. It looks like we may be transitioning to Tuesdays. Also, stream managers. Twitch is doing that thing again, where after the video plays, it's not actually immediately posting the VOD, and I have to go in and publish the VOD, which is why if you're trying to do clips from last episode and post, you weren't able to. I'm fixing that now for episode 4, and I'll have to go and do that tomorrow for this episode, and so on and so forth. Why? I don't know. Actually, it's actually seeing. I'm gonna see if it'll let me do it now while we're streaming. Nope. It's not letting me.
Where's your people?
I have to wait till it's fully over. I don't know. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that in a minute. Yeah, exactly. This is Shattered Memories. We're allowed to mix up numbers and all that jazz, I guess. I'll start doing chapters eventually. He'll be like, what happened to the episodes? I'm like, they're gone. The chapters now. Players, please tell me, what happened last episode?
Well.
Someone other than Cole.
Yeah, please, anyone that's not me.
Okay, so things that stand out. Addie is totally going to have relations with a prince. We ran over a general.
Yeah, we stole a carriage.
Mm-hmm. God.
Jesus Christ. You know, these week-long gaps just kind of throw me off.
The woman.
Yeah, not Addie, Jesus Christ. Raven was talking to some witch woman. I don't know if she was a witch or not. And she had requested that we get her some wood situations and whatnot while we were in this town. Ollie proved himself to not be just some dumb himbo, and he can do strong boy things, but also be very like resourceful. And got some wood, and we cut down some trees because he's super cool like that. And we gave her the stuff she needed. She gave us a map going towards or leading towards Novalis. So we were trying to figure out how we were going to get there. As we're doing that, some guy comes in with a carriage into town with a bunch of like injured people, and Ollie's like, "Hey, let me work my magic and see if I can convince this guy to take us out there." And by work his magic, it means using his rank because government power kind of helps out in places like that. And the guy was like, I don't like you. You're ugly, but I guess I'll take your friends. And they're like, wow, that's kind of rude. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Are
So
you sure
I
it was
got
because you're
everybody.
ugly?
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of because why else would he be mad at me? What? Uh, which is crazy because that's not even true. Like, I'm not ugly. But as we're going, we get stopped because of one of the wonderful rolls that you guys gave us. In the process of that happening, my beautiful fucking halberd was shattered into fucking pieces. I'm not salty about it at all. And then we encountered a general and his crew, and I was pissed off because my freaking halberd got shattered out of nowhere, and then he made everybody kneel in front of him. I was like, "What the fuck are you making us kneel for?" And he's like, "Get down, you dirty fucking peasant," or something along those lines. And Ollie had a little attitude, which just goes to show that he's super emotional for no good reason. And it, uh, Addie was trying to, not Addie, Ollie. Addie was trying to woo this man because she was like, "Hey, I'm half elf, I can probably put the fangs on him." And it was like, "No, chill out. Who told you to talk?" Because the prince comes out and she's like, "Oh, elf royalty. Got some elf in me, I got that dog in me or whatever." So she tried to talk to him, and he was kind of like, "Oh, I feel it, I guess, blah, blah, blah." In that process, Raven was like, "We're gonna go." So she hijacks this cart. We take off, we grab Adriana because,
Wait. Ollie, you're
uh,
missing something critical.
what am I missing? I'm missing something
The
critical.
epic acrobatics and like romantic eye lock between Addie and the prince as she landed on the cart. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
I
would you
snatched her
guys
up while
like
we
a
were going
small
full
help real
speed.
quick?
And, huh?
Do you want a small help that's going to be super fucking helpful this week?
I mean, sure.
They didn't call you ugly. They didn't call you stupid. They called you a mutt.
Which is basically equivalent to ugly for me, and we know for a fact
No,
I'm not ugly.
it's because they're racist as shit.
Oh no,
You're not an
absolutely. We were gonna,
and you're not a human.
Mutt
we
is
were
the
gonna
I
equivalent to
want to make that
mudblood.
reminder very clear to y'all. Like,
no. I know that, but I mean, he basically called me ugly, and Ollie's like, "That's weird. I'm not ugly. My mom said I'm handsome as fuck." Or at least the people that raised me said I was handsome as fuck. But yes, they're very, very racist in Novalis. In the process of getting this cart, the girl from episode one, when the Umbral halves of everyone came out and started killing each other, was there, and we found out that, I mean, based on her being somewhere in a different place and time, when we helped her out, kind of helped her escape that whole death that she had with her Umbral side. So we grabbed her, threw her in the cart with us, did some healing on her, and we're going towards Novalis as we're kind of on the outside of the gates. We're trying to figure out how to disguise everybody. We called B, a little boy, basically, for some reason, just because she's small and built like a little
I
boy, even
am
though she's
being a
not.
little girl.
I mean, that's what y'all kept saying, so I'm just going off that. Uh, Mara, we have to really figure out what's going on with him because he's covered in tattoos, so it's going to be kind of harder. Raven, she can kind of blend in a little bit. Addie is half elf, and I use some disguise self because I'm a bad bitch, and we're gonna go into this very racist location and figure out what the fuck is going on, even though I don't like the prince. And that's what you missed
Oh.
last time. Dragon Ball. Oh,
No,
wait, hold on.
do I tell them now about Addie mystery? Like,
Tell them what exactly?
the less fun news about my heritage?
Nope.
Like,
We'll figure out if
And
it comes up.
meanwhile,
There was a meanwhile.
What
we
happened to
forgot the
meanwhile?
meanwhile.
Oh, the
The
princess was being a fucking raging demon, I guess, and she had somebody in there with her and was like, "Wow, I told you to do one thing, you couldn't even do that." And she was like, "Whoa, chill, it's not that serious."
no,
No, that was like 3 episodes ago,
bro.
and that was
Oh,
Yeah,
Halo
bro.
talking to the queen.
My episodes are blending together. Listen, I haven't slept in 2 days. Okay, let me live.
Meanwhile,
No, the meanwhile was the princess received a messenger bird, and she issued an order to all of Novalis to arrest anybody that enters the city.
Oh yeah, you're right. And that's what you missed last time on Dragon Ball Z.
oh,
all right. Well,
more or less.
y'all ready to begin?
No, I'm not. But like, yeah.
Should start the episode with meanwhile.
Y'all are pulling up to the line of carriages as many people have tried their best to flee to Novalis in the wake of multiple towns now being victim to the shatterings. The carriage has come to a halt by no choice on Marrow's end, simply because it would look suspicious to do otherwise. The horses are single file moving in. There's about 5 carriages in front of you with decent space in between.
Should we go this way?
What do you mean?
Well, clearly everybody's stopped.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Do you
like
know another way in the
checkpoint.
city?
No. but
Apparently,
maybe-
there's not many options. According to her, and Raven's going to motion to the young lady that is with us in the carriage. Whose name I have forgotten.
Celia looks to you and goes, well, no, not that I can think of. There's other gates, but they're probably going to be no better, and they would take
That would
quite a
be
bit
my
of time.
I would guess as much. And if we look like out the carriage, can we see the border of the city?
Yeah, it's a huge stone gate.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. And
This
it's
this aspect, just to give you guys a little bit of your passive perception, you're walking, not walking, you would be standing or riding amongst a carriage of what looks like very serene plains, almost as if the grass is either constantly trimmed or never grows beyond 3 inches tall. Everything is groomed and manicured, but almost in a natural sense, almost a natural magic to it. This gate that you see even has a white and black marbling effect, giving it a gradient that, instead of provoking a loom, almost makes it shimmer. It's very majestic in comparison to a stellion, which had a lot of color. This is definitely whites and golds and silvers and purples and colors of royalty that you can kind of detect just on the gate alone. There are banners hanging on either side of the main gate that you guys are attempting to go into. Further off and beyond, you can see the cliffside where the castle itself sits upon, with a huge drop into the horizon, as Novalis is very high up on a cliff.
Okay. Raven's just gonna kind of like fold her arms and sit back in her chair. We'll be fine. I mean, realistically, right?
What could possibly go wrong? Like, I mean, yes, we may have run over the general, but like,
Yeah, but they don't know that, right?
they couldn't have gotten here faster than us, right? Right? Ollie, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. We were kind of hightailing it, and they were kind of scrambling to get themselves together. But something about you saying what could go wrong just makes you feel like everything's gonna go wrong.
Well, it is
Can I-
for you.
Can I
I mean-
look out?
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just was going to look out the carriage and see if there's a concentration of birds anywhere. Like if there's like a carrier pigeon hut, it's normally higher up.
Go ahead
You
and
know what I mean?
go ahead and roll a perception check.
Oh.
17 on the dice. Hold on.
19.
6. So
23.
23. Yeah.
Um,
Math is hard.
You can see a couple of towers that are just beyond the gate, that look like watchtowers, and have posts where birds could land.
Guys,
What?
they have carrier birds. I can see the
Most
posts.
Cities do.
Yeah, it's kind
So
of
they don't
Most of you get
necessarily
message a
have
long
to,
distance.
but they don't necessarily have to beat us here if they can send a bird.
How fast do birds go?
fast.
Depends on the
last time I
species
checked.
of bird.
I can't outrun a bird, so
Yeah, but I'm not a horse. Like,
yeah, but I'm pretty fast. You see, his
Ollie, you're
legs?
not a horse.
Kind of like he just flexes like how buff and meaty his legs are. I'm like,
just
"Listen,
like
I'm putting some power behind these, okay? I don't know about you.
rubs her temples and goes,
The carriages all move forward.
Well, so what do you guys want to do? Just sit and wait?
I mean, that's.
Well,
Do you have another idea?
I already pitched all my ideas. I think we should find an alternative route.
want to create a distraction? I'll throw it.
Okay. There is a giant stone wall around this city.
Well, they have to get rid of their waste somewhere.
Are you suggesting we go through like the sewer lines or something?
It's the only way I can think of to get into a city more discreetly.
Celia goes, the sewage is on the opposite end. Oh. Just immediately.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you for the raid, the lynching hour.
evening.
Good evening,
Good
each and every one of you.
evening.
We just started our episode 5 of Shattered Memories. I said it right this time. NevaeH Shattered Memories. Also, thank you so much for following. If we get up to 500, I have promised to cosplay what the architect looks like, who's the DM, but also a character in this game. So,
I'm very excited.
drop a
I
follow.
can't wait. We're so close.
You
It's
are.
literally so close.
You are very close. Very, very close. Will it happen? Who knows? All right. Celia looks at you. She goes, so most of the waste just drops off from the end. There's a bit of a tunneling system. My husband works it, but it's not on this side of the city.
Well, then I'm all out of ideas.
Celia, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to go in through the main gate if it could be dangerous, risking your life for these wanted criminals, or shall we go around the other side and try to find an alternative route?
Says you, the petty thief.
Hey, I wouldn't get caught. They didn't see me. Talk to the man who just disobeyed his direct general.
Hey, listen. In my defense, I don't look like myself right now either, so.
I mean, as far as anyone at the gate knows, I have a false name. I look elven enough to pass, and you could all be my servants as far as they are concerned.
Mm.
I know, Ollie, it's not ideal, but these are not kind people.
Celia goes, it really doesn't matter. Our best bet is probably going through the main gate. It's going to take hours to get around, and by then, if there was a bird sent, it's going to get here. So getting to the next gate won't help us get in at that point. We can take a chance now, or we can take a riskier chance in a few hours.
I say we take the chance, but just to be safe. And Ray is going to pull some sneaky shit and get out of the carriage and hook herself to the bottom of it.
You're going to hook yourself to the bottom of the carriage.
Yes. Is that possible?
It's possible. Oh, there's
That's
enough
a
space.
brilliant idea.
Okay, so how do you intend to hook yourself to the bottom of the carriage?
So I'm assuming that it has, like, the wheels, right? And so that it has the bar that goes through,
Yes.
and then it has the bracer bar.
Yes.
I don't know technical terms.
That'll
Yeah,
work.
So she wants to climb
CV
on top
axle.
of the
No big
bracer
deal.
bar. Yeah. Not the ones that turn, the one that stays still in the middle.
Okay.
So hold the, yeah.
Okay, so she wants to do that. Basically, while the carriage isn't moving, she's going to try to rope herself
She's
onto
just
it.
gonna, like, just flip over the edge from the back of the carriage, out of the back of the window.
Okay, I need you to roll. Let's go with dexterity to see how well you can just tie yourself up.
As I'm
Oh. I need glasses so bad.
I'm screaming.
25.
Okay.
Oh, shit?
While the carriage is still, you are successfully tying yourself up in a fashion that you'll be secured without having to rebalance yourself amidst any bumps or anything like that, and you can untie yourself quickly if necessary.
I think.
As I watch her do this, I'm kind of like, so the most inconspicuous one is hiding. Did I use inconspicuous right, Maddie?
Yes, you did, sweetheart.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So the most inconspicuous one is hiding. What do we do about Captain Tattoos and Muscles here? Tiny one looks like a child. You work, I work, she works.
I
In the
could be.
meantime, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I could be your handmaid, so to speak.
What? You're a child. Your child.
Do labor laws exist in this place? I wouldn't think if it's this
Right.
racist of an area.
Racism exists, so I mean, who knows?
Yes, labor laws exist in this place.
I'm just saying it's not traditionally good.
She
Okay.
could be your. You
Wait,
could be her.
let me slow it down for you, B. If you are a child in my care, you are less likely to be harassed for being a small person.
There.
I don't need you to be a servant if you are a child.
Okay.
Okay.
She
Very
said
good.
when we get to the gate, you tell her that you
I'm
are
just
7 years
nervous.
old.
Yeah.
I'm just nervous, B. I don't trust it. Or not B, Addie.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, no, you
And
called me by your own name.
I'm a little
now,
flustered.
And
now
Addie
that
like
she-
works on picking the leaves all out of her hair so that she's like as cleaned up as possible when we get to the front
Okay.
to be as absolutely presentable as she can be.
There are now
what-
3 carriages remaining. There's more behind you. There's 2 behind you guys at this junction. You're number 3, and then there's 2 in front of you.
What about
Uh,
tomorrow?
Hey,
I
what do you usually blend in, Morrow?
I don't.
Cool. So how are you going to stop from being arrested?
I mean, I'm just a carriage driver. I'm a free man and I have a token that I can prove it. I can just work for you and be a carriage driver.
Addie. What if he was your guard?
Yeah, I can literally just be your guard. It's cool.
All right.
Off in the front of the carriages, you guys can all hear, all carts will be inspected before entry. And with your passive wisdoms, you can see that there are guards that are kind of moving around. They don't look immediately armed, and just kind of more clerical, checking conditions, paperwork, the horses, sending directions for where people need to go.
Okay. And we're all in good health these days, right?
Yes, I'm trying to make my hair look more presentable because if I was your child, you would not let me look like a.
No, absolutely not. And so she like reaches out and tries to like fix her hair for her, and she like licks her thumb and rubs the dirt off of her cheekbone. She goes,
Addie!
well, clean up once in a while. It wouldn't hurt you.
Fine.
It doesn't kill you to bathe.
I got a leech when I bathed last.
Did you die though?
I could have.
But you didn't.
Okay, so
She like flicks her on the forehead.
I can't reach your forehead when you're. No, I probably could, but I'd have to stand.
And then she just like straightens herself up and like fixes herself up and is just prepared to be conversated with.
from the previous episode, I did use disguise self.
You did.
So I was able to at least kind of like get rid of the horn action, so they don't just see giant horns coming out of this guy, and then it made my ears look pointier, so it's giving elf. But that's about all I could really do with that without like completely doing anything. So I still have my
Your
The
name
thing.
badge, yeah.
that.
So Ollie, sweetie,
Hmm.
love and adore you. I don't think there's anything wrong with you, obviously, right? You know that, right?
Okay.
Right? Okay. These people aren't as nice as me, though, right? So maybe, we don't use the badge here. And we just be a good man who doesn't stir up trouble. We could do that and doesn't like draw attention. Can we do that? Can you do that
Second
for
I see a
me?
minor injustice, I'm literally jumping into action. I hope you understand that.
There's going to be an issue with that because there's going to be a lot of injustice that you're about to see.
I mean, I've been to Novalis once or twice. Okay, it's not my first time here. I'm just saying.
Okay. And
This is the first
did
time that I
you
can't.
jump into a few too many phrases the last time? Because that's what I recall.
So I'm gonna begrudgingly take off my badge and put it in my pocket and just like, You know you're
Mhm.
insufferable when you're right. B, that's how you use
Which is
insufferable in
kind
the sentence
of
properly,
fine,
right?
baby. She
There's
just
now
like claps
one
her finger.
wagon
She,
ahead.
she just like claps his cheeks between her hands and she goes, "Mhm, it's all the time that I'm right. I know. I know."
Well,
Yeah, it's off of you, woman.
while they're having that conversation, I'm gonna look at Meryl and be like, so I know you're really, really big into respect. I know that's a trigger button, but like, we gotta try to blend. Is he talking?
He's just ignoring you.
It's the silence for me.
He's ignoring me blatantly.
I was just gonna stare at her.
Can I
I'm like,
listen out the cart to hear, to see what I'm like hearing, if there's any commotion, if there's anything, because I know we're getting closer.
Feel free to roll a perception.
Another perception. Dang it.
You're trying to perceive something.
trying to perceive things. Come on, okay. Trying to perceive
18.
things, you know.
Game. It's the whole game. Yes.
It was an 18.
You can actually hear footsteps approaching.
I'm gonna elbow Addie and then whisper.
You're gonna have to speak up when you
Oh,
whisper,
sorry.
Onyx.
I'm whispering. I know, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna whisper as quietly as I can, as closely to Addie's ear as I can. There's someone coming. I hear them.
Yeah, we kind of knew, like, the closer we get to the gate, the more likely they are to approach us. They're inspecting all. Yeah, that's expected. Mm-hmm. And she just, like, pats her head. Because it's okay.
You can hear there's a couple of different people that are outside and they're kind of touching the cart itself, moving the wood of the wheels and the spoke posts and stuff, and making sure everything's like together. Nobody.
Addie 100% holds her breath.
Nobody looks underneath the cart, because the entirety of the people coming in have been people like looking for, safety. So who would be trying to smuggle somebody in right now? These dumb guards are thinking. So nobody looks underneath. After two of them walk off, one of the town's guards stops and looks at Morrow, and he goes, where are you headed? Are coming from?"
We are just seeking refuge like the rest of these people.
Yes, no, that
We're
much is
cracks in the
understood.
sky, and
In order to provide direction, we're going to need to know where you've come from. Try to reconnect you with different people, different townsfolk from your specific villages. It's been a long day, so where are you coming from?
And the rest of us in the carriage here.
Yes.
Addie leans up and she goes, "We've come from Cherry."
He goes, we hadn't heard anything about Cherry. Pretty sure okay, you have a question?
I apologize. My internet cut out right as you were talking.
No worries. You back? Okay, what did you hear last?
just continue.
Okay.
Well, I heard you talking to me, and then I came back to Addie answering for me, and I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, guy was just ranting about like it's been a long day, and then he goes,
Yeah.
we haven't heard of any news of trouble in Cherry. Should we be expecting more of you?"
Well, there were quite a few people in Cherry while we were there last. There was, I believe everyone else was also headed this direction. I don't know necessarily that it was everyone, like there were a lot of people there. There were a lot of people.
He's kind of growing a bit suspicious. Like he doesn't feel like your story is mirroring others, whereas everyone else is like, my town was destroyed. You're kind of
Addie,
working around it. He's just looking at you like this. You're not what?
Addie, what town was that group of people? Because that's why they were injured.
I love that I caught about 3 syllables of that.
Yeah, for whatever reason, your internet cut
I'm
out really
sorry,
bad.
my
It's okay.
internet
It just
is
cleared up, but for that moment, it was just
going.
not good.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna lean in and say to Addie, what about that town that all those people arrived injured from? Nothing had gone on in Cherry, but there was that other town.
I need to know how loudly you're speaking right now.
Whispering. Obviously, I don't trust these people.
Can the guard that was talking to me hear her?
No.
Thank fuck. She goes, no, it's okay, sweetheart. Sit back. Because obviously answering you would be heard.
The guard looks and goes, well, your vehicle inspection's fine. There's a stable not far inside the town walls. Get past the homesteads and the farmlands. Cut left. You'll be able to dock your horses in your stable. Carriages beyond that point have to be authorized. I'm assuming if you have paperwork, they'll handle it at the next check. Outside of that, enjoy your stay. Stay out of the inner city and have a good time. And he walks off.
Thank you so much for your hospitality.
He goes directly to one of the guards that just finished inspecting the carriage in front of you.
Does it
Asking me to
look
change what
like-
I'm saying to the guard while I'm talking to the guard is awfully difficult for me to have a conversation with you.
No, I was elaborating. It was going based off of what you said. Nope, there went my internet again. What was the last thing you heard?
All of it. We can hear you.
Whole sentence.
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay.
I just want to punch each and every one of these fucking idiots, I swear.
Miro's gonna go ahead and, slap the horses with the reins and get them to start moving the carriage again
Perfect timing.
before anyone starts speaking.
Perfect timing, because the carriage in front of you moves and it doesn't go into the gates. It moves over to the side, and the gates open, and a very elegantly adorned carriage comes out.
Miro's gonna pull over to the opposite side that the other carriage pulled over to, because obviously that's what we're supposed to do.
There's a bit of fanfare, and that carriage driver. Wow! Hey, thank you for the sub. Why is this not showing up? There it is. Appreciate it. You know what that means, folks. Just perfect time to roll a dice.
Not a perfect shot.
Why does my button never want to
No,
work
this is
for
a
me?
terrible time. Please be beneficial.
It's
So
like you did this on purpose. Like, do you have
Man.
beef against me? What's going on?
Or,
Let's go.
Good DMs know.
fuck's sake, who's it for?
Yeah, who's it going to? We got an
You know the
11.
game.
Darn.
Not to the poor,
Prince up
The
with
prince isn't.
The
in
prince
the-
is not currently in the scene.
That's your
But
time
if
to
you
just
want
make
to
a
give
pub.
it to an NPC, I will allow you to assign it to the next NPC.
I'll cry. I'll
Choose
do
this
it.
correctly because
I
my
won't even
fingers do
send
certain things
pictures.
based on your choice.
it's just not the poor, innocent human underneath the carriage. It's just,
What about the
Person's
horses
on
on
the
the carriage? No.
You're wild.
No,
We're not spending the next 5 minutes doing this. Oh, you got you got the players
Yeah, I
or the next NPC. You could also do it to Celia. Celia is still with the group. Celia is the one that's on screen right now. You could do it to the next NPC that's about to show up, like literally, I was mid sentence. Or Morrow. Okay, Morrow it is. Morrow number
Morrow is
11.
If when
Right after you pull the cart over, you kind of like look to everyone in the carriage just to make sure everyone's good because you have to make that sudden turn. And amongst them, you can see a dead friend sitting with them. You recognize this dead friend of yours as a friend that you had gone through the ranks of fighting gladiator v gladiator with. And at the end, in order to earn your freedom, you had to kill your friend. He's sitting there dead as the day you left him.
And dead as hell.
Everyone else in the cart can also see this. He looks translucent. And he's just staring deadpan straight ahead.
What is this?
You see what you did, Stone?
Ma.
You see what you fucking did? Okay.
What?
Miro's gonna
What?
interact with him, and
Who is that?
why are you here?
He kind of turns his head slow and he goes, I'm not sure yet. Cozy life you've made. And he turns his head back and he's just deadpan forward again. And then his eyes kind of cast down at that wooden sword of yours. And he goes, that's funny.
Oh.
I wonder if they know. I wonder if you know. And then he's gone. No boom, no explosion, no anything crazy, just like you blinked and he just isn't there anymore. Wherever his spirit was is it's gone back to.
I'm gonna
What?
rest my hand on Mero's shoulder and just. We'll talk about this later, but. You okay?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
And
Who was
point
that
my
guy,
eyes
Mero?
towards the.
You know, that might be a better conversation for when we're not trying to get into the city.
Or being
Celia-
held up by this.
Celia looks to
Beautiful
all of you and goes, so I've decided I don't like any of you anymore. Weird things happen when you're around. I think it's understandable, but I'm not a fan of talking to whatever dead thing that was.
You know, you make a good point. I wish you the best, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your life.
She goes, and then she like looks out the window of the carriage and then closes it immediately and goes, then again, we could stick around for a bit longer.
Oh, damn, is this who I think it is?
Why? What happened? Why'd you? No, you changed your mind too fast. What happened?
It's very quiet outside the carriage.
Addie moves to the window and opens it up again to look outside.
What were you saying, Raven?
Yeah, can I roll a perception check?
You sure can.
Well.
Would Ollie recognize this carriage by any chance?
Yes. Real quick, what's up, Scarecrow?
Miro's already outside the carriage. Is
Mhm.
there something I should know
Yeah, I'll
that
message
they
it to
don't,
you.
or
I got a 12.
I'm so scared.
I'm getting ready to roll like my acrobatic saving throw right now. Like,
yeah?
That's
Ready to grab your phone.
We're about to make this actual D&D.
Oh,
Damn.
You cannot tell
Apologize.
from your position what's going on. You can just tell that all of the guards, all the town's guard, have taken knees. And there's a pair of really nice, elegantly adorned boots, but they're boots, on the ground from the carriage.
So I'd like to look out the window.
Okay. Outside the window,
Huh?
you can see this woman with a lovely blue dress that has a slit up the side of it, and cuts off just before it would drag upon the ground, revealing very nice semi-combat, semi-rugged, semi-dressy boots.
Ollie's gonna
Do
fully
I?
start flaring his nostrils, just very upset because he knows exactly who this is, and he's pissed at how the
Do I
Rose treats
recognize
everyone
her?
here in this town. And just
everyone in the carriage knows of this woman's existence through stories and drawings. The only people who have had the opportunity to be in her presence before is Olafir, but Olafir has not had a conversation with her, just seen her face to face. I've been in the same room type of vibes, um, and everyone else is just rumor and speculation of the how do I put this, unnecessary evil that this woman can just deliver.
Say it again.
Um,
How do you?
she's
Sorry,
holding
go ahead.
a scroll in her hand, and she looks to one of the division officers, and she goes, "You're telling me you haven't seen them all of this time? I find that very hard to believe. Who's inspected the last carriages?" And she looks over to the two get town's guards that had inspected the carriage before you and your carriage.
How do you like leans back in the carriage, back away from the window, so that she's like behind the window, and goes, "The princess is outside. No sudden movements."
Told you I didn't trust it.
She's literally the worst person. You know, sometimes I wonder why I even serve under them, but oh God, this is bad for everybody, especially if she came out on her own. I'll be completely and totally honest with you guys when I say this. Do not say anything, because Melian is the worst.
That is her name, Melian. Princess Melian is now looking at your carriage. She points to one of the guards and goes, "Well, open it." The guard solemnly walks over and opens the back like half doors and lifts up the curtain, revealing all of you. And you can see her. She's probably about 15 feet away, and she's holding this scroll unraveled that has drawings of each of you. And she rolls it back up and looks, and she goes, "Well, you finally arrived. Hello.
Mm.
How was the trip?"
Um, mm, uh,
Out of duty, I take a
really
knee
nervous.
and kind of like, unfortunately, because of like my affiliation with them, I immediately take a knee and bow, but my nostrils are flaring, like so much to the point that you can actually see steam like coming off of me.
She looks and she goes, "Sir Oliver, please, please, please rise. You're fine. I've already been debriefed. You've all been through a lot. Listen, personally, I'm not a fan of all the fanfare. Would you mind if we took your carriage and let's just go amongst the town if it would make you more comfy?"
Princess Melian, forgive me for speaking out of turn, but why did they send you all the way down here?
She goes, "Well, it's a very warranted question, and I'd like to answer it, but we are still amongst the public and mixed company, and a girl has to keep her image. I'd rather we were in the privacy of a carriage, whichever you prefer, to get going. Also, I believe one of you's missing. Did you drop someone off all along your journey?"
And just again, out of duty, I'm gonna kind of. Can I roll to pick up this carriage?
You got to roll very
Can I
exceptional.
roll a
Yes, what's up, Onyx?
I wanted to roll a insight check because I want to read her body language to see if she's being fake nice and leading us into a trap, or if she's being genuine, because I don't really know. I only know the lore, so I
Right.
don't know how she works.
Go for it.
So it's just based on other social cues I've dealt with.
It's gonna be a
God
24. Chief.
damn it.
It's a 24.
Before he lifts the carriage, do I see his hand go underneath it?
Yes, you do.
Can I throw a dart at it?
No, you're tied to it too securely.
Shoot, shoot. Monster.
Knowing full well she can't keep a secret, Addie says not a goddamn thing.
No one else has left the cart yet, so the carriage yet, so you can't lift it. Maybe on its own, if it were just the wooden boards, you could probably lift it up a good couple feet, but it's still fully loaded with people. Celia kind of sees what you're doing and immediately gets out and she bows. And she goes, "My lady, it is a pleasure to see you."
She's a biter, so I kind of have to keep her out of the carriage. Sorry.
The princess
I
kind of
rolled
looks
a
at you.
2,
You rolled a 2.
which. But wait, it's a total. It's in total an 8, but that's literally the lowest roll I can get and not be able to re-roll.
um, you can tell that she is being very sincere. That there's a level of concern given everything that's kind of been going on with the world. But it doesn't feel like she's putting on a facade or acting. She's being very, very genuine. Unless anyone wants to roll higher. Raven, what the hell are you doing? Yes, you.
I'm literally still just sitting at the bottom of the carriage, not saying anything, hoping that they don't point me out.
You've been pointed out.
Yeah, you've already been pointed out.
Yeah. I mean, he did go to lift it and then say
All
that
he
you're
did.
underneath.
Already bowed and saw you down there too, and I told her you're a biter, so there's that.
She's staying right there.
The princess kind of walks over to the side of the
I'm moving.
carriage next to Olafir. She kind of like moves, flops up her dress back, and she kind of bends down and like turns her head underneath, so that like she's eye line with you, and she goes, "I'm not sure what of your species enjoys riding in such a fashion, but if it's bat-like, I've hoped it wasn't too rough. Would you like to come out now, or is it vampiric in nature and the sun is intolerable?"
Well, as you heard, I bite.
She goes, "It would be ill-advised to bite a princess, but you're welcome to walk alongside regardless."
Roll a deception.
As she's rolling for this, I'm gonna kind of like tap to her, like, get from under there, please.
Go ahead and roll that deception.
Okay, she's just gonna look at her and say, "I'm not with them."
Go ahead and roll that.
14.
She looks at you and she goes, "Well, that's fine, but unfortunately, my chart here says that you are, so I will need you to come with."
Fine. Yeah. Get out.
She smiles and she hands you like a little rag, and she's like, "Would you like to dust yourself off, or is this your preference?"
The dust reminds me of where I've been.
As this goes on while she's having this, I kind of get rid of the whole disguise self thing, so my horns start to like kind of come back out, and I'm like, well, I mean, there's no point in pretending anymore.
You can hear like
since,
some of the town's guards that are still kneeling and stuff start murmuring and everything, and she turns around and you can't see the look that she gives them, but they silence immediately.
Oh, I know what look she gave them.
She
I
looks
don't have
back
to see
to
it. No.
you all with a smile, and she goes, "And I imagine your driver is not your driver."
I mean, technically he is. I mean, he's not. He's with us, but I mean, he drives.
She goes, "Fair, fair. Well, I can have someone else drive us about. We're more familiar with the city, naturally. He can ride alongside, but which cart would we prefer to take? I promise you, the colors just make it pretty. It's just as rough as the next one."
Yours.
Yours.
Addie is not saying anything to anybody. She is 100% maintaining her right to silence.
Highness, if you would be so
I mean,
kind as to take us all together, I know it's me asking entirely too much for you and how gracious you are, but I mean, if we're supposed to go with you, I mean, it's best that we're all together in one location, right? That way we don't run the risk of separating and causing you more of a headache. I mean, you've already come all the way from the castle itself.
Absolutely right, Ollie. We should go with her. Yep. And she just kind of shuffles along.
I mean, she seems very genuine, Addie.
You're absolutely right. Let's go.
I'm gonna shoot B a look, kind of like, of course she's genuine. What are you talking about? With a look of like, you're right for the way that you're thinking, but don't say shit about it out loud right now.
She nods, and she goes, "Of course, we can take mine. It's got a bit more space, and I imagine if we're all riding on inside, then comfort is a viable option. So please, right this way." And she motions. She looks at Celia and she goes, "You as well, please. Do not hesitate. You've all been through a lot." She looks to you all, and she climbs in first.
As
Um,
she's going to climb in, I open the door for her and give her a hand so she can get into it.
she goes, "Oh, thank you."
Climbing in and keeping no eye contact.
Helping everybody into the cart, but I'm shooting them all like very like, look, like, your shit together, guys.
100% just staring
Can
at the
I-
floorboards.
Okay, can I do a 2-part combo? I think it might have to be. So I want to, like, as I touch the cart, see if I detect any type of magic on the cart. And then I want to do, based on my knowledge, if there's any, like, silencing, like, magic on the cart that would make, like, incapacitate mages.
So you'd have to. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to detect a very specific type of spell, which detect magic will not
Yeah.
do. Detect magic will only let you detect
Right.
if there's magic. Now, the specific type of spell you're
Yeah.
trying to detect is a trap. So you could, if you have the spell for detecting magic traps or detecting traps in general, then do that. Do you have that spell prepared?
I don't. No, I don't. But can I get an idea if there's magic and what kind of magic is on the cart, if there is?
It's actually called Find Traps. So you'd at most be able to detect if there is magic or if there isn't magic, the nature of that magic, on whether it's dangerous or not. Um, I could give you that information if you rolled high enough.
Okay, so as I am, before I start pondering, I can cast message at will, which I'm gonna say in the message to Ray, do you think it's a trap? Like, can you find out if there is a trap?
Can I
And then
hear
I'm
this?
gonna roll for my.
Yeah, she's sitting it mentally, like
Yeah, it
projecting that
only
message to you.
goes to you telepathically.
I love you.
My dice hates me tonight. Okay, so I got a whopping 11
Pop that puppy in your
on my
mouth.
Arcana.
For the love of God.
Eat the dice.
Just candy.
I rolled a 3 with that.
You can absolutely detect that there is magic. It doesn't seem like it's any dangerous type of magic or offensive. It feels more in the vein of some type of defensive like magic. From that, you could probably deduce that it's some types of protection, and it's a carriage that moves royalty around.
Okay. Yeah. The only things I perceive her to be that she'd be able to find something. That's my only hope.
Fair, fair. Is everyone in the cart, Morrow? You haven't told me where you're at.
I am going to climb up and sit next to the driver outside of the cart on the
The
bench seat.
I don't think she's gonna like that actually. And normally I don't want to ever tell you how to do your job or dictate anything you do, but for everybody's safety, I suggest you get in the cart.
the division officer that's driving this cart looks to you and he goes, Sir Morrow, or Sir Oliver is correct. I'm going to need you to get inside of the carts as per the princess's requests. It is not an order that I can disobey. Therefore, this carriage will not move until you do so.
Arrow's just gonna climb back down and get inside.
And as I'm helping him kind of get into it, I'm like, hey, listen, it's gonna be okay. Just Follow my lead.
Mero,
Raven's gonna kind of clear her throat and go, you said I could walk along. Can I just walk? Can I just walk along?
she shakes her head. I merely meant that I hoped the sunlight would not impose upon you if you were vampiric in nature. Now that we can determine that you are not, please, inside. She looks to all of you and she goes, fair enough. I can understand that the rumors and speculations you've heard about me may be concerning. I do what is best for my people, but this is no ruse. Whatever trap you think I have instilled would affect me too. I got in first. I'm sitting here amongst you all, and I am nay more powerful than my driver.
All right then. And Ray's going to get in the carriage.
As everybody's in the carriage now, I kind of look at the guys and like, make this a very smooth trip. If I have even a single hair on the princess's head out of place, it's your head. Understand?
And he goes, yes, sir. Understood.
And then I get in and I close the door behind me.
She goes,
All
well,
right.
we're all set. And she knocks on the wood, and the carriage starts moving into the main gates of Novalis. Y'all made it. Only took you an hour. Proud of you. about 45 minutes, almost 46 minutes.
I was like, the beginning bits of that time was the starting screen. Stop it.
The carriage is moving for some time. After the no, these windows don't open. They're not sealed or anything. They're just like display for show windows, so you can see out of them, but they're not opening, so you can't actually stick your head out. You can literally only see in like a random. What's a good size? It's a small cutout circular window as things are passing. They don't like to show which royalty is inside, and having another entry point, not safe. After a little bit of time with the silence, Melian looks to Celia and goes, it's true that you have a husband and daughter that are here, correct? We'll pick them up along the way, if that's all right. And Celia just kind of nods and smiles. And goes, thank you, milady. Melian looks to the rest of you and goes, now then, I believe you understand the nature of not wanting to talk about potential world-ending events amidst the population. Novalis is being seen as a haven since we control this entire district. Spreading panic and causing a ruse here, it's not on my to-do list. And you all look like the group of people who would go asking questions to people who don't know things. The town remains in blissful ignorance amidst their stereotypes, their criticisms, and their own economy. So, direct that towards me. How can I help you?
Your Highness, I'm not really sure how to address you appropriately. Is that okay?
My name is Melian. Outside of the public eye, feel free to call me Melian. When we depart this carriage, it would be preference to be milady, as I am not in the high chair. I am not the highness.
I just forgot her name. She just told me.
Melian.
Liliana, right?
Melian.
Leanne.
Melian.
My internet keeps skipping. I apologize.
That's alright.
Miss Melian, do you have any idea what's causing all these horrific events?
She kind of sighs and looks to all of you and goes, a few nights ago, a very powerful sorceress, I'm not sure, mage of some sort, confronted my mother with a nefarious plan to dismantle and destroy the realm. It was a unique destruction in nature, one that would not result in imminent death or reconfiguration of the very continent, more so a change in population rather swift. She spoke of other versions of us and this realm and our ways, and how everything needed to become one. It was all I could eavesdrop before I was inevitably caught by my father and quickly escorted away. But she specifically spoke of the sky splitting. The events that took place in Estelion and in other such cities, smaller, I believe they were her doing. I don't know what magic she has that provokes this, and to be honest, I don't know how to stop it. I don't know what my mother has in place to do something about it, and I was actually hoping you all could help me to figure that out.
Did you happen to catch what she wanted?
She said peace.
Why would you
Peace.
stop that?
Novalis has known peace. Would you fight something you've never seen? Not an invisible creature of some sorts, but something that simply does not exist? We were told a story and told to believe such a story, and when we did not, naturally. Well, retaliation is the best way I could describe Estelion. Now we know the story is real, but we've already stepped to the wrong side as far as this woman is concerned. And I understand that our version of peace may not be forthcoming to many of your kind, but it is a peace. War has not existed in Asaria. What would you have? Children, fathers, mothers dying over land, crops, endless chaos and turmoil to see who takes the next seat of power? Or one rather centralized place where hatred is a bit more profound but contained so that the rest can thrive? It is not a perfect system, but it doesn't exist. It is what we have,
So if
and
you
we make it
wish-
work.
If I may speak so bluntly, if you wish to stop somebody, would you not want numbers on your side?
We cannot provoke a war with something that doesn't exist. Numbers are not.
So this woman doesn't exist now.
Well,
She
You want
kinda-
to stop her?
she kinda leans
would it
in and
not
she
be
goes,
beneficial?
Why would we believe the words of a hearsayer without proof? She provided such proof, and now we do very much so believe. And I imagine my mother is making some contingencies in that stead. But in that moment, can you fault us? Imagine if I came knocking upon your door and I said, join my side, or another version of you is going to come out of nowhere and destroy everything you love in this house. Forgive me for
And
not
why
believing in
hide
the
truth?
far-fetchedness.
Then why forbid the truth from being spoken from those who have seen it?
Because, dear child, that is what leaders do. We keep the ruse.
Mm.
Yes. She looks over to you, to
Milady.
Beatrix.
Is what if we helped you find a resolution?
She kind of frowns and she goes, well, I was actually hoping that's why you were here. She could provide me some intel at the minimum. I'm not out there in the field, as it were. I've not seen these shatterings.
Mm.
The only semblance I've seen is those who come through the doors, and given that the vast majority of them are not of elven root, They're sent off to the corners of Novalis, tended to, but out of that main population. Hold on, actually. Um, and the carriage like is kind of coming to a stop. And she kind of looks to Celia and kind of motions, and she goes, "I believe your family's waiting." And Celia kind of looks at her, not confused, but just kind of like caught off, and then like exits the carriage. She goes, "If you don't all mind, I'd prefer if we scooted down a little bit and made room."
Uh,
Y- yeah, yeah.
yes, sir. Scooting over. Yep.
Reaching.
Of
I'm
course,
gonna
my lady.
help them into the cart.
Um, a rather rugged-looking man steps in. He's human as well. He's got long brown hair that looks not dirty, just unkept, and a very scraggy beard. As soon as he steps in, and he sees the princess, that same look of kind of like shock and awe kind of hits him. And kind of just bows his head and goes, "Milady," and then he no longer makes eye contact. He turns to help his daughter into the cart as well, and then Celia afterwards, and they all sit down. I don't have pictures for all three of them, so don't get all hype.
Oh,
You mentioned doors. I have not experienced yet a door, but rather a tear in the fabric of reality. Is this similar to what you're seeing these people come through? Where it looks like the air right in front of your face has been ripped open.
I've not seen it. This was the story that was told to us by this woman. It was something unfathomable, so of course we wouldn't believe it. But needless to say, Estelion is no more. She kind of looks over to the husband and the daughter, and she goes, "My apologies. That must have been very shocking news." Um, at this time, Estelion is under construction, young one. And the girl looks to the princess with no regard for royalty and goes, "I'm not a young girl. I'm 9."
Yep.
Oh,
Child.
milady, we may be able to provide more insight when smaller ears are not around. It is kind of grotesque.
She nods and she goes, I understand. I imagine not everything is for prying young adults."
Yes.
She absolutely pats B on the head and goes, "Yes, I understand."
Melian decides at this point to remain quiet. She's flipping through some notebook that's like really small, like palm notebook. She's not writing anything, just kind of turning the pages and standing there. She's doing one of those, like, if she were any more still, someone would draw a picture of her type of royalty poses as she's reading the pages. But she's all for not tuned all of you out, so the carriage is still moving along to its next destination.
What is your name, fellow little one?
She goes, "No, I'm taller. You first."
My name is Beatrice.
She goes, "Nice to meet you, Beatrix," and she sticks a hand out, all like eager to shake it. And she goes, "I'm Alice."
Alice, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And she
Shake her hand.
she shakes she shakes her hand back, and she goes, "I made a friend. It's a good day."
Yes, it always is when you make friends.
We love to make friends. So I know.
having an existential crisis right now, Mister.
Would I be offended that I wasn't the first one to be her friend this time?
Oh.
Like,
She looks at you and
I don't know.
she goes, well, you're not my friends yet. But it's okay. We'll get there. My friends are in Estelion. Were you in Estelion?
Stellion.
Are you from Estelion?
We've been to Estelion.
From Celion.
She reaches her hand out and she goes, "Hi, Alice. I'm Adriana."
And she goes, nice to meet you too. You're taller. Not as tall as
I
these
am
guys.
taller.
And then she looks
No.
over to Morrow and she goes, how many ink markings do you have?
Well, individually 47, but they all tie into one.
She goes, whoa, you have like all of them. You're probably only missing like 3. If you get a new one, can it be of me?
Sure, actually.
She smiles and goes, all right. At this point, the dad looks over and he goes, honey, please have a seat. She kind of like pouts a little bit and like sits back down.
Adriana looks at Celia and she goes, "You have a beautiful daughter."
Celia smiles and goes, she's rambunctious, a little too hot-headed for my taste.
She'll do great things.
And what is your name, sir? And I'm looking at Alice's father, I'm assuming.
He goes, it's Micah. I work in sewage and infrastructure here. With the Estelion solstice party, we thought it'd be best to kind of get out of town, but Celia, she works a good shop, so it was also a good opportunity to bring in some money. I'm just glad she made it out. I think I have you all to thank for that.
Yeah. I think we assisted a little bit. She can fill you in on what happened there. Probably when the little Miss Alice here is wait, and I'm gonna look at Alice. What do you like to do in your free time? I like to color.
She goes, oh, coloring is a lot of fun. I like to color too. But mostly I help Daddy with the chore stuff when we're over here. So the clothes or the dinner, but I can't do the stove yet because I'm not old enough and I can't mess with the fire. But I'm learning. I'm learning.
That's quite grown of you.
She goes, see? Not a child. The carriage
Not
comes
a
to a
child.
stop. And almost immediately, Melian closes the book. And she goes, if you will all just wait a moment. And she kind of hops out of the carriage.
I'm gonna instinctively open the door for her to let her down,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of just stand by the door and wait for her.
Cool.
I lean over to Celia. How are your injuries? I know we worked to patched them up a bit. Are you okay at this point?
And she nods and she goes, probably not gonna run off anytime soon. But yeah, I can breathe. And it's getting better. Each waking moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I roll a perception check since I kind of helped her out of the cart to see what's going on right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Frick yeah. That is going to be an 18.
You have stopped at a very nice restaurant. This is in a paved road of the town with actual built-in sidewalks and torches that illuminate themselves with magic that mirrors the turn of the sun over the day. It is a very, very nice part of the town. This restaurant, in fact, looks more like one of those colonial houses in its build. There are outside sitting arrangements that already look taken. And she Melian went directly into the building. She's actually on her way out just moments after.
I'm gonna immediately run over to assist her with what she's taking out.
No, she doesn't have anything. She's just walking out of the building.
Oh,
I lean down
everything
to
okay,
little
milady?
Alice. Sorry.
She goes, yes, yes, just making sure all the affairs are in order.
And now
I
she's
lean
kind of
down.
like walking back. Oh, you go ahead. 'Cause I want to
Finish your interaction. I thought you were done. There was a long pause.
No, I'm sorry. So as she's like walking back, milady, and I take a knee and I kind of like bow down. What really does this mean? You know, I'd never question anything that you've ever done or your rule or your order at all, but with everything that's going on, it is a bit curious.
She frowns and she goes, I'm afraid you'll have to be a bit more specific on this. You clearly want answers, and I'm no sage, but what I can tell you, I will share. What do you want to know?
No ill will is going to be brought towards my companions, is there? And he kind of looks up and he's like teary-eyed.
She shakes her head and she kind of walks over to you and like wipes one of your tears, and she goes, you may rest assured, no ill will come to them.
He kind of wipes the other tear and gets up. Well then, and he takes his position in front of the carriage so he can kind of let her back in. But before I let her back in, back to Adriana and what she was going to say.
Thanks. I lean over to Alice. I said, Miss Alice, your mom had a little bit of an accident in Estelion during this, parties. They get a little too excited.
She goes, yep, that's my
Mom
mom.
had a little accident. Can you make sure that she's okay?
She goes, mm-hmm.
That's very grown of you.
Celia kind of just like strokes her hair. Melian opens the door, but she doesn't get inside, and she kind of looks to you all, and she goes, I imagine you must be hungry. I've taken care of all preparations. Everything is paid for. Feel free to dine with the rest of the guests. I've not cleared out the banquet hall on account of we don't want to, again, arouse any suspicion, but there is a table cleared out. Please eat. Enjoy yourselves. I'll have a guard that will send me notice the moment that you are all done eating. We'll get you to a safe space. And she kind of like moves off to the side so that you guys can all exit. She goes, also, please do understand, I will not be dining with you. It is nothing personal. I'm simply royalty, and it would be rather confusing and also arouse suspicion. Needless to say, you are my guest. Make yourselves comfortable. I will be here shortly after.
I'm going to start following behind her. Just like, okay, well, you guys don't do anything stupid, okay?
Ollie, you know you're coming with us, right?
Don't do anything stupid.
I think that's very funny from you. She nods her head at the princess and says, many thanks, milady.
As Raven is getting out, she's gonna look to her. She's gonna go. So this Halo came and talked to your mother, but your town has not been destroyed yet.
She goes, I never caught her name, but if her name is Halo, then I'm inclined to believe you. No, we don't have specific magics in place. I believe this Halo woman, as it were, is tactful. Estelion was the center of peace and prosperity, whereas Novalis is quite blatantly known for, and for all accurate reason, its racism and its elitism. This division has allowed a place for hatred amongst the rest of Novalis' district. Now that place for peace is gone. If you were going to destabilize the nation, you wouldn't start with its headquarters, you would start with its people. Then you would go after its military. And when its people do not have its trust and its military is gone, you don't need to destroy the city. You can walk in and take it.
So then you already know what he's after.
Thank you for the gifted sub. Let me know who that's going to. We'll roll that in just a moment. Your options are Celia, Micah, Celia's husband, and young adult, quote unquote, 9-year-old Alice, in terms of NPCs or any of the players. What did you say, Raven? Can you repeat that?
She just looks at her and goes, well, then you already know what she's after. You know her next move.
We have our assumptions, but we can talk about that in our strategy room. Please, eat, rest, be merry. You're safe now.
And Raven's just gonna nod and walk into the restaurant.
Anyone not going into the restaurant?
And we're going into the restaurant. Apologies.
Marrow's gonna
Grumpy.
pull one of the black feathers off of his armor and hand it to Alice on the way out of the carriage,
So you're like, ooh, this
and just
is
nod at her,
pretty.
not say anything.
You said one of the feathers?
Yeah, one of the feathers that go around his neck.
Gotcha.
The feathers from the Raven Queen. Yeah.
Okay, let
I'm
me
just
roll that
gonna
dice.
hand one of those to her,
That was as good a time as
nod.
ever.
and then exit.
14 going to Alice.
God damn.
Astral enemies recognize Alice as one of her kin until she takes a short rest or a day has passed. That's the 14 that we got. So that's what's happening to Alice. Astral people that are astral that wouldn't like her will like her until she goes to sleep. Yeah, you kind of protected her. That's kind of cool.
She's America's sweetheart.
Oh,
We'll talk about Alice later.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm going into the restaurant. Yep. That's
Oh, Alice.
Hang on. Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Go
gonna,
ahead.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say to Alice, if your parents allow, I have ink and a quill you could draw while you're waiting for your food, and parchment.
Alice looks to her mom and she goes, please. And her mom kind of like sighs and goes, you've already done so much, but yes, of course. Thank you. You guys are all escorted
No
in,
problem.
and you can see that
So
there,
I'm going.
there are multiple long tables that are just populated with people, and there's one to like the immediate right, maybe like 3 or 4 tables in, so kind of amongst the crowd, not off in the corner standing alone or anything weird. That is just chock full of food. If your mind can imagine it, it's there. They've been cooking excessive food as they always do, just to have their food hot and ready for any guests that would arrive. And it looks like it's all been given to you.
I have never seen so much food in my life.
It's taller than Raven standing, aside from the chair. Doesn't go all the way to the ground. It's from the table's height, but there's easily 3 feet of food in different select spots. It's mounded. And we're going to take a break right there. We will be back. Let's go ahead and pause the music. Let's go ahead and switch it over because it's time for therapy.
It's time for therapy.
You started talking about food. You gotta go get popcorn now.
Listen, yes. It's time for therapy.
The ring rope for power wasn't a blaring fucking sign.
Eddie, no! Eddie, stop!
That would be a critical failure.
What's going on, kiddos?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, actually the technical term. You rolled a stab.
That's why we can't have nice things.
We gotta have these breaks.
Me.
You dancing is not therapy.
No, therapy
I
is
just
for
wanna let
him.
you know.
That's okay. I understand. Here you go.
Thank you.
What's up, human beings? It's a therapy. What's going on, you goblins and
displacer beasts. I don't know. Freaking just random D&D monsters.
Displacer beefs.
Yeah, because some of y'all just give the idea of like, yeah, it's a safe place here. It's like, no, it's not. That's gremlin to you. Yeah, specifically lava is the only gremlin in the chat. Everybody else is a goblin. But
Yeah, because what's a goon to a goblin?
nothing. Nothing. You ain't saying nothing.
Exactly.
Come on.
Listen, Mystery grilled me on the history of Alice earlier this week, and I am so glad.
Listen, the fact that
This
every
is so
campaign that we've done that Alice appears in, that's my little bestie. And the one time I don't become besties is because I'm trying to keep my job right now. This is so ghetto.
So, I can't wait to not only suck up to, but to slaughter Alice, because I know how this works.
Damn.
Except that's not how Alice works. She does have a canon
understand.
event, but we can change what she does in the end.
And he's going to choose to keep
What
it
if-
by killing her. He's very much Miguel O'Hara right now. He said, nah, you don't belong in this one.
What if I'm canon event?
Damn.
I don't think you are. I don't think you could be, because the canon event happens every time she's reincarnated.
Well. If
I don't
You
believe
have
the
yet
canon
to get
event
to the
happened like
past
that.
campaign, have you?
chat, for those of you who really know how Alice works in other campaigns, what do you think would be the best canon event for her this time around? For her to not become a major pain in our ass. Like, what would
So-
you rewrite that canon event as?
This Alice, her canon event will give her back her memories from her previous lives. Not
Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
not Paradise Lost and Blood Oath Alice, not those Alices. It's the Alices
No.
since she was created by Halo.
That's still bad. Kill her with fire.
No, I don't think it has to be.
I mean, look, just because you're all about the healing and stuff doesn't mean that that's not what it is.
No, I think that y'all are really super suspicious of everything he does.
Yeah, no, there's so much suspicion going on. Like this episode, I'm like, damn, we
Oh,
can't
yeah.
trust nothing. Apparently, I'm like, guys, listen, it's okay. Just go with the flow. It's fine. No one has to die.
No, you don't have to make two.
And if they do have
Today.
to die, right? I mean, but next week,
Next week, though, how many times am I gonna die next week?
crazy. Let it be
times.
known,
Exactly
though.
two.
I just gotta.
It's at least
50,
two.
11 times.
50, 11 times. Come on. Cannot play with shit. You know what? You're on one today.
Yeah.
I love this.
Look, this is what happens when marijuana and delirium combine with me. I get like happy and actually bubbly. I guess it's like other people when they drink.
This is the horror episode. This is when Marrow's just smiling the entire time. It's like, oh shit, guys, something's wrong. Somebody get him now.
No, if I grab my sword and then do the smile from that movie Smile, yeah.
Oh, nah, hell no.
Like, but fuck what y'all was talking about. Like, I'm about to fuck up everybody's day, and I'm sorry.
He said,
And
I'm
I'll
gonna just
apologize
start
later.
swinging, and we'll deal with that when we deal with it. Crazy, ridiculous.
For instance, last week, if you would have lifted a finger, I would have come down on that general with the long sword.
Oh no, I know, and I was thinking about it too. Like, because realistically speaking, it was like, oh, I'm finna go ham. But then I was thinking, I was like, wait, but I'm not the only one that's gonna actually do some major damage. So I have to really think. Do I want us both doing this? Because it's probably not the safest for anybody if we start just fucking shit up. So I was like, I'm gonna wait, even though I wanted to just like, ooh. And that's the thing. Ollie's definitely going from, oh, I'm just a stupid big buff boy to like, oh no, Ollie is that boy. But right now it's such a struggle because it's like he has to be on his P's and Q's right now and act like everything's just so normal. It's like every conversation he's had with everybody, I'm like, I told you guys I'm not dumb. I'm just pretty. You guys just thought that I was dumb because I'm pretty, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty. And why are you looking like that? Stop that back there. Knock it off. I know you're yawning, but stop it.
I'm the dumb one.
You're the dumb one? Nah.
I have a 9 intelligence.
Stupid my teeth.
I genuinely adore how our party gets like family-esque as soon as a kid's introduced.
Therapy's over. Make a choice to drink
You,
water. Don't
like,
forget to smile.
you
Love
are
you.
in-
Bye. Mwah.
Listen, Patty has no physical abilities, but will fuck you up mentally. She's gonna slow shit way down.
What'd you say?
Get out of here, spaghetti legs.
Damn. Damn.
Damn, she said you skipped leg day.
She said, "Your soul, it's mine now." Water check. All right,
Damn, she said
everybody.
you skipped leg day.
You all back in your chairs? Y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay. Onyx, if you don't mind, could you turn your camera off and on really quickly, please? Beautiful, thanks. You were on the whole time. I just wanted your lag to catch up.
Yeah.
All right, we're switching back.
And we back in this bitch.
So, let's see. She's gone. There is boundless amounts of food around y'all. None of it is poisoned. You're welcome to dig in and enjoy yourselves.
Patty cautiously and with every ounce of etiquette and manners that her mother would have drilled into her skull, eats at a normal pace without gorging herself, with every bit of self-control that she can contain.
As she's doing this, I come back into the dining hall because clearly Mellyanne wouldn't let me go with her. And I'm kind of just like, why are you guys being weird about it? It's not that serious. And it just starts like shoving food in his face.
Told you you'd be with us.
Listen. At any given moment, this girl can snap.
Yes, I'm aware. And you, my dear, lovely, wonderful friend, are a very low-ranking officer.
Yeah, but
At what
she wants
point?
something, right?
She wants something.
We have
Information, it
knowledge.
seems.
We have leverage.
We need to
We
keep the
just make
leverage.
sure, exactly. We just need to make sure that when we deliver the knowledge, if we choose to, if you all choose to, you're not doing it in a confined space.
Yeah.
You just need to make sure what happens when you're no longer useful.
That's smart.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And as she's like saying this, Raven is gonna roll perception. She's inspecting everyone in the room for anyone that stands out or looks weird or anything along those lines.
We're just gonna grab
Maybe
some
not.
meat, also roll a perception.
While they're having the conversation, I'm going to get out a couple, like 2 pieces of parchment, the ink and the quill, and set it next to Alice. When you're allowed, here it is. I'll pick it up after you're done.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled 50.
With your 9, everyone looks
I
fine.
hope.
With your 15, everyone looks fine and armed. It seems like even though there's food and it's the Riz side of town, there is still that level of like threat and concern, and you know, people still walk around with the strap on them.
So everyone's armed, like
Not like everyone to the
people
T,
dining.
but of the people dining,
Sure.
there's clearly someone within every group that has that you can visibly see has, oh, you've got a sword. There's a sheath or something, you know.
But the clothes are still nice. Sorry.
Yes, the clothes are still nice.
Okay, that's
Addie like gently leans in and goes, okay, so not the best at secrets, especially if directly asked things.
So you just won't talk.
I'll do my best.
I need you to be
Or-
better than your best, okay?
Why don't you guys just tell her what's going on?
You said
Oh.
to maintain our leverage.
Yeah, as long as you have a good exit strategy. Personally, I don't think she's gonna kill all of you. Us. She might kill
What
me.
about capture? We're obviously unique in this realm because we don't have other versions of ourselves.
I don't
In
think
my
she knows that.
experience, exactly.
I don't think so either.
That's yeah. In my experience, royalty like to collect things that are unique. So let's not let her know that part.
I do think we should share what we experienced in Stellion, so it would further validate what
Understandable.
Halo
How do
had
we-
already said to them.
And I agree and understand, but how do we do that without expressing how we escaped?
Some of the tables have cleared out, but for you guys, more food is being brought out. This time, it's no longer appetizers, but it's main courses. You're seeing fully cooked chickens and turkeys, a bison's leg, and other creatures that you would not immediately recognize, parts of their body that are otherwise safe to eat, as well as what looks like an overgrown, oversized salmon's full torso. All of this has been filleted and seared in different ways with different cuts, and it smells all too appetizing.
Raven is absolutely eating everything with no manners or regards to.
Mira's just gonna like
Yeah.
drag the bison leg over to his side of the table and then just sit down beside it and just start gnawing on it.
Patty reaches out and cuts off part of a chicken and uses utensils and a napkin like a human.
Patty, I know you're trying to be normal about it, but it's so abnormal. It's making me feel uncomfortable. As he kind of just does a regular fork and eats his food. It's like, it's being natural. You know how to eat food.
My mother also taught me how to behave whenever in the presence of those better than I.
Who said these people are better than you? Nobody's better than anybody. It's just a status thing, right?
Let me rephrase for you. In the presence of people who believe they are better than I.
So, Addie, we could, because we escaped before we encountered that, well, before we had that fight. So,
What?
We really don't know how we escaped. We don't have to tie in the fight with Alice or any of that because that was after we made it to the orc village or to the orc line.
What are you talking about?
You were talking about what we could share and how we could express information
about how we escaped the Stellion.
Keep exposing our. Yeah, we got to the orc border before we even fought her.
No, stop. You're confusing timeline things. I am talking about Stellion, which is the first city we were in. You are talking about
we made it to the border before we.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Estelion. We made it to the border of the forest before we even fought Halo, so we don't have to talk about that part.
Halo. We're talking about lacking doppelgangers. How did we escape that if we didn't lack doppelgangers, which we're not sharing?
Oh.
There you
Not
go.
sharing that. Well, we don't know why we didn't get one.
We're not telling
We
them
just
we don't have them.
don't know.
I understand.
We're not
but
hiding it. Right.
So why are we special? How did we escape?
We don't know.
We would have to. They're not going to accept I don't know.
But we don't want the people in charge here to know that we are special.
Mm-hmm.
Royalty likes to collect special things.
Now
I don't want to do this. Do not let them know that you are special. That is all.
You
So
all
having this serious conversation, I just had a giant leg of meat to Raven. I'm like, have you tried this one yet?
Oh yeah, by the way, everything that I just said was all muffled because I was eating the bison legs. So it was just
I'm weak.
dinner is clearing up. Other people have left and stuff. Some time has passed. You've all gained back 2d6 in HP. So feel free to roll it if you are underneath. If you were at full health, then go ahead and add that to your health total as temporary hit points. These will last. These will last for a day and or short or a long rest, and be used before you take
Regular
damage.
You said 2d6?
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Cool. Righteous. Oh, what did he say?
Dessert is brought out next, and there is immediately a fountain of chocolate that is pouring. There's bowls of ice cream with multiple spoons sticking in it on banana split fashion. There's slices of cake that are really big, each one different. You've got that classic white, you've got that red velvet, you've got something with coconuts. There's different slices of pie that smell fresh and homemade. Not like legit homemade, but almost close enough to remind you of home, not tasty enough to be home. And it's kind of just spread across the table. Most of the patrons have departed at this point, but there's others that are eating dessert as well.
Raven is definitely eating dessert.
I've learned to stay away from the chocolate fountain. For some reason, I always get messy and it gets in my horns. And trying to clean that out of the grooves
How
in
do
my
you
horns is never
manage
fun.
that?
It's not fun. I can tell you that for sure.
Do you know what would help with that?
I'm sure you'll tell me.
Eating slower and using utensils. She just turns around and has a small slice of one of the desserts in front of her using a fork.
We're gonna take that little small dessert that she has and just smush it in her face.
She's absolutely gonna try to smack his hand whenever he does it. I will absolutely roll to oppose.
I'm gonna roll that. No, fuck that. We're fighting right now. What are we rolling
Is it
for
Dex
that?
to slap his hand out of my face?
And it's just a regular strength throw for me, or
No, it's against your AC. So, yeah, go ahead and roll that dex.
Dex on my part, or wait,
Dex on your part to hit him.
because he's trying to pie me.
Oh, vice versa. My bad.
Okay,
Yeah, Dex to
Oh,
hit
that's all.
Addie.
and I'm trying to swat it out of the way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rush. Does a
Wow, this is.
hit you?
Go ahead. Your thing.
I wasn't saying anything.
A 2?
No, an 18.
That is equal to my AC.
That hits.
Like,
So just kick in the face.
Boop.
Hide it.
she immediately just gets up and walks out of the restaurant.
Oh gosh, don't be so serious. And I kind of like jump up behind her and chase after her. I'm like, it was just a joke. Gosh, you're being really sour right now. You have all that sweetness on your face, and kind of like laugh at her.
That's just a joke, except that we are currently dealing with a world-ending crisis, and we have to go talk to royalty in a minute.
Not in a minute.
And realistically speaking,
The
you being
restaurant's empty.
serious about it doesn't help. It's empty.
Restaurant's empty. Oh, wait, real quick. You had something, Scarecrow?
It's just while that was happening, I was gonna try to roll a perception check because you've let us talk for a while,
I have.
and yeah,
You've specifically noticed at this point that the restaurant's empty. That pretty much everyone's cleared out, including the staff. The lights are still on though. And
I'm getting up.
okay, cool. As you're going to get up, guards start coming in to the main hall, and they are quickly surrounding the outside, or the inside, but the outer wall perimeter. Celia, almost like a sixth sense, notices what's going on.
Leverage. And Raven is going to manifest her soul blade.
Lady Melian, are you in the area by any chance? As I'm watching them kind of like all staring at us just in their position.
Yeah, I'm gonna ready a defensive stance, but I'm not actually gonna draw my weapon. I'm just gonna partly unsheath it.
Lady Melian comes in through the same doors that you guys came into as well, and she's slow clapping, and she goes, you know, people say that I have a name for myself, and I don't like to live up to it, but if that's the role that I'm bound to play, then I'm going to. I hoped you'd be a bit more forthcoming. So, since you've decided not to, we're going to take some different measures instead.
You said we would talk after dinner. We fully intended to.
She, at this time, Alice looks to Beatrix. And if I could press the buttons on my computer, right. And hand you back the picture.
Aww. Oh, that is so beautiful. I adore this.
Alice looks to all of you and goes, "What's going on?" And Melian goes, "Guards," and kind of like snaps her fingers. And some of the guards that are not Talon's guards, they go to Micah and Celia and Alice and grab all of them and pull them from the tables, and like take a few steps back and got them their arms pinned.
Raven is staring intently on the one that has his hands on Alice. She's full facing him with her blades drawn.
So,
Lady Million, you said no ill will would go towards any of them. What is this?
she goes, according to the information I received, they're not your companions.
And where did you get this information from?
She goes, from the general you all nearly ran over, as you were withholding information then as well. We had the opportunity. We've wine and dined. We've conversated. I've been as forthcoming as I can, and I cannot get the same treatment in my own fucking town. And she nods to the first guard, who pulls out an oversized dagger and holds it up
Raven's
against.
going to.
You gotta let me finish what I'm saying. No idea what's happening.
And then Raven's gonna attack. Please.
What is Raven going to attack? Who is Raven going to attack? What is Raven going to attack? You have no idea what's happening next.
Oh god.
Raven wants to attack the guard that's drawing the dagger.
The guard that's drawing a dagger is about 20 feet from you, so you can move and you can move to attack, but you have to still let his action happen first, because it's already been initiated.
She's gonna move.
You have to let his action happen first, because it's already been initiated.
Yeah.
What?
And here we thought B was the impulsive one.
He holds the knife next to Micah's throat and goes, "Say the word, milady." And she doesn't do anything. Now then, are you going to attack, or what is your plan now that part has happened?
Yeah, she's gonna move towards them.
Okay. So you have successfully placed yourself in front of them. So it'd be you, and then Micah, and then the guard directly behind Micah.
Mm-hmm.
Adriana turns to the princess and says, "You say you don't wish to maintain a reputation, yet you insist on acting upon it. Nobody's holding a knife to your throat."
I don't solely wish to retain that reputation, but I've been on this earth long enough. I know my wrongs. I know my rights. You can call me what you like. I'm going to get the results that I'm after. Now, you've happened to have the time to whisper amongst your companions, Sir Oliver. So, now's your opportunity. What happened in Estelion? And what happened in Cherry that made you so brash to run off, flee, and then think you could come to my town expecting different results? And last but not least, what are you actually doing here, since that was also information you did not bother to give me? And if I'm satisfied with your answers, I'll let your non-companions go.
You've heard what happened in Estelion. The sky shattered. People slaughtered themselves. The town crumbled. What more could you need to know? What more could you want to know?
Rumor has it, everyone died.
She didn't. I'm pointing at Alice's mother. I can't remember her name.
Celia.
Celia.
Yeah, Celia.
She goes, and neither did either of you. You were all there that night, right? Okay, fair. And she looks to the next guard, who pulls out a blade and holds it up against Celia's throat. And Celia immediately goes, "No, wait, please!" Before she kind of gets quiet as the knife's pushed against her throat. She goes, "All right, fine." She looks all fair and she goes, "I promise no ill will to your companions. So, I'm going to test my theory instead. You all somehow survived. Don't want to tell the secrets. That's fine. We'll see if your blood spilling has any effect."
Lady?
Wait.
What's up, Beatrix? Go ahead.
How can we give you information that we don't know? It was traumatic. I can barely remember the details.
I need you to roll a persuasion.
Ha!
Buddy is currently keeping the
I'm using my
closest
lucky ability. I rolled a 1.
Addie is currently keeping like her eyes absolutely glued to the princess, but also struggling not to just spill.
You rolled a 1.
She has lucky though.
No. I have only. It's not for attacks. It's just for ability rolls.
Okay. So what was your new number?
So I rolled a 19 on the die, and I have a +4, so a 23.
She walks over to you, and she smiles really kindly, and you can tell it's still genuine. Out of everything, on all of her interactions, there's not a hint of deception. It's more like exceptional passion, no matter the cost. And she looks and she goes, "Oh, little halfling, I have no doubt in my mind that half of your brain could not recall things either. But that's neither here nor there. I have spies everywhere. Being here was no accident. If the information you reflected amongst yourselves reflected in our carriage ride, then we'd be on to the next place. But that's not the case. And even now, those who have kept secrets," and she looks over to the rest of you, "do not wish to share. But that's all right, little halfling. I don't want you to. Instead, I'm going to act upon my suspicions, and then we'll see who just feels like talking." And she raises up one finger, and the guard...
Addie absolutely jumps up and she goes, "We don't know how we survived. We just know we didn't get murdered."
The action's already happened. Okay, we got to time out. We got to... Does it... Okay, time out. Nope, we're going to time out. We're going to time out. Got to make sure... We got it. Watching doesn't equal the same thing. We got it. That's why we're going to time out real quick. We're going to rewind it. We're going to pause the little foresty music. Where's it at? Okay, real quick. D&D 1-on-1, just to recap. If you do not ready an action, you are not ready for an action. That means the action that you say must take place before whatever the next person is going to do. It is all turn-based regardless. The opportunity to interrupt a thing only exists in specific spells or abilities that would allow you to do so. For example, counter spell allows you to interrupt that spell when you use it. Using dash allows you to disengage from combat without taking that attack of opportunity when you use it. Outside of that, you cannot naturally interrupt what another person is doing in that moment, be them PC or NPC, unless you readied an action before they did it. Think about that in initiative. I'm going to ready an action because shit looks like it's about to pop off. Okay, hey, everybody roll for initiative. But before we start, you readied an action. Do you want to take it now? You readied it before shit happened.
I think what Cole was trying... Sorry, I didn't mean to overspeak you.
No, you're fine.
Connection skipped.
You're fine. Go ahead.
I think what Cole was trying to do is, as the princess was saying something, not do something, but say something at the moment that she started to that's how I interpreted it. I didn't think she was casting.
No, that's fine. Well, my point is that Cole's words were, Addie is watching for anything to happen. That does not prevent something from happening. You may be more alert to it. If you think about watching equals perception, which then equals, if you were to roll a perception whilst already stating you were watching, you'd have a better perception outcome regardless of how you rolled. That's DM math. So if somebody just suddenly goes, "I'm going to roll a perception and see who's got swords." Okay, that's a base. If you're like, "I'm watching," and then 5 minutes later, "I'm going to roll a perception and see who's drawing their swords," you are already watching, so now that effect is bigger. That same concept exists with whatever action you're doing beforehand. Now, if you said, I'm walking up to that guard that has the knife. And then fast forward, and she holds up her finger, and then you go, I'm going to reach and grab this thing before he has the opportunity to. Okay, cool. Your previous actions have already set that up. You've readied that to take place. But watching as a base is based off of perception, not based off of physical intervention. The base term for that, if you don't know how you want to intervene, but you want to intervene, is you're readying an action. I am preparing my
So
character to
speech as
act.
actions.
No, speech
That's
is an
all
action, but
moment of
you
speech action
no,
because
but
it was a moment of speech.
when no. So yeah, you have a moment of speech, but what are you interrupting at this moment?
I see her raise her hand and I say a
Right.
thing. That's all that happened.
Right. So I said she raises her hand and the guard, and then you started your moment of speech. But the guard is still doing his thing now, regardless of your moment of speech. You may be interrupting the speech, but the moment I said and the guard, that now dictates the guard is doing his thing.
So there is a hair of lag because we're on Discord. You hadn't said in the guard when I started speaking, as
Okay.
far as I could hear.
Okay, so we have to adhere to that. You know, that's the difficulties of being online. But regardless of it, your action has not stopped her from raising her finger, which will still indicate to the guard. You can still say what you'd like. Go ahead.
That was literally it. It was, we don't know why we survived. We just know that we did.
Okay. Hang on, I'm thinking.
Out of that panic action of knowing the last 2 times she's raised a finger, a knife got put to somebody else's throat.
I'm trying to see if that would stop the guard.
Whether it stops the guard or not, I mean, it's all of the other actions of the guards are based off her word.
Mm-hmm. The guard has pressed the blade against Micah's throat and it has drawn blood, but he didn't slit his throat and he paused almost hesitantly, hearing your words, and looks back to Melian. And Melian goes, "You don't know why you survived."
Not exactly, no.
Not exactly, or no?
We know we survived. We know we met a strange man and that we all were capable of running.
She kind of gets up from crouching near Beatrix, and she starts to walk towards you, but she looks past you, to the guard and goes, "I didn't say stop." And he kind of like freezes up, and the other guard, that's holding Celia, lets go of Celia, and stabs the guard that was holding Micah, and then stabs Micah, and both of them collapse. He bows to Melian, and Alice is kind of like got that shock look on her face, like she doesn't understand what just happened. Like, what? And immediately Celia's just runs over and she's like trying to hold him as he's trying to say something, but blood is just catching in his mouth. She looks to you. She looks to you, Addie, and she goes, "Who are these people?"
People I've come. I'm clarifying. Is she gesturing at the?
No.
the
She's
group or
asking
the others?
you who are the people you're mentioning when you said you don't know why you survived. So she's asking you for more information.
Me and my traveling companions and a strange man that spoke of bizarre magics that don't make sense right now.
You really ought to make it make sense then. What do you know? Please. And she kind of gestures to the chair. Sit down. Relax. Celia's crying.
His name was Liam. and he explained something about two types of magics that were interacting with one another and shattering the earth,
Oh, just a moment.
shattering the sky.
We lost a patron.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
you're
my
back.
geez.
You're good. She kind of like frowns, and she goes, "Liam, what?"
He didn't say, but he was dressed very bizarrely. Not like he was from Astellion, but most people weren't. It was the solstice.
I'm willing to guess technology that just didn't quite make sense.
Yes. How do you know?
She kind of like sucks her teeth, and she's kind of scowling, not at you anymore, just kind of like just thinking back. And she goes, "And it was just the one. You didn't have anyone with him."
Not that we spoke with or noticed, but it was also very crowded and quite a lot of blood happening.
She goes, "And where is he now?"
He just takes a deep breath and looks at Morrow. And then looks back at the princess and goes, well, the Sealy court had their way.
She turns her head very slowly to Morrow, and she goes, "Come here."
Morrow lets go of his sword, puts it back in the sheath, and walks up to her.
She smiles and she goes, "You looking for better employment?"
That depends on what you offer, my lady.
She goes, "You got rid of something rather troublesome for me. Now, if you're still in cahoots with the ever so illustrious Sealy Court, then by all means, think nothing of this offer. But someone who can chop down that man can probably get rid of his siblings for me too."
What would I get if I got rid of them?
Well, some would call it diplomatic immunity, but a seal from Novalis goes very far in this continent. I imagine it's akin to that wooden little dowel of yours in the carriage, but more down to earth.
If I see them in my travels, they'll be disposed of. But I don't think that I'll separate from these guys and go out of my way to do that.
She goes, "Fair. I may be inclined to change your mind depending on which ones survive, but bring back some proof. I'll reward you in kind." She looks over to Oliver. Hey, thank you for following Fubar132. She looks over to Oliver and she goes, "I expected more from you. Your responsibility in your post dictates that you should be reporting this information." Why am I hearing it from this one? What's up? You have a question, Onyx?
I can't tell if I'm lagging or not, but I wanted to do the message at will to Alice and say, stay calm, my friend. And that's all I'm going, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Um, she kind of hears it and looks to you. And she was like getting to that point where she was like starting to hyperventilate. It's kind of like the setting was setting in. But she like calms down and she still has that frightened look in her eyes, but she nods to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oliver?
I'm just gonna.
Oh, Lady Melian. With the state of everything happening at the moment when it was, not exactly accessible to a carrier hawk to get you the information. Hence, I figured let's just get straight to Novellus as is. Realistically speaking, that's why I went right back to my post to assume I spoke to you just to make sure that nothing ill would happen to them so we can tell you what happens.
Mm.
Quite frankly, this whole act going on behind us kind of defeats the purpose of what we talked about. And may I be so brash since I'm already doing it as is, but most people can actually talk about things without abusing their power.
She smiled,
Or at least I thought we could.
and she goes, "Of course. Would you like to see how I abuse my power?"
And his fingers are like tensing up. He feels the rage building inside of him, and he puts his hands in his pocket and takes a knee.
She looks at you and she goes, "Give me one of your horns."
Excuse me?
She goes, "I'm going to take something from you. I've decided it's going to be one of your horns. You have the goal to think that your insolence is not going to go unrewarded, and then to tell me that my actions are brash. You must forget I am centuries old. I have acted in the will of my kingdom longer than you've held rank. Regardless
Okay.
of how your individual feelings may be, you swore an oath to cast them aside and act and operate for the good of Novalis. This district is supposed to rely on you. Your information was not reported, neither when the incidents happened, nor to a commanding officer, the general, of which you and your rusty crew nearly killed, and
As
now
she
you've
says that
withheld it."
part, I'm gonna cut her off and just yank the horn out. Like it's full, just pulled completely out of my skull, blood streaming down my face, and I throw it at her feet. If this is what it means to swear an oath to protect Novalis and actual peace, take my rank away. Kill me as far as I'm concerned, but I could never serve under someone as heartless, disgusting as you.
Ollie,
No. I mean, I've already completely screwed myself. What's the worst thing she could do? Kill me? I'd take 1,000 deaths rather than staying under this disgusting and tyrannical rule that you have. You're a monster.
She crouches down. Also, you're gonna need to roll for damage. Um,
Okay.
let's see. So your base
What am I
damage,
rolling?
I'm thinking,
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
you're gonna have to roll. You're level 5. You've mutilated yourself. What is your hit die?
My hit die is excuse me, a D12.
Okay, you're gonna have to roll 5d12,
Yeah. Okay.
which will cover your immediate wound as well as the excessive bleeding.
11, 7, 18, 30, 35, 39. Let's check. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Minus 33.
While you're rolling that, Beatrix, you hear a message go back to you from the young adult, little child, um, and it's just as shaky as if she were talking out loud. And she goes, "You're my friend, right? My friends call me AJ."
That's all I'm gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna nod and smile at her, and then go go back to Ollie, so it kind of
Yeah.
stabilizing me at the same time. If that makes
Um,
sense.
how much damage is that?
Are we?
That was 30, 39, but
Okay.
then minus that 6 temp point damage, so 33.
Okay. You're not dead, right?
No.
Okay, well that's good. Just making sure. I gotta check because y'all don't like to tell me until I. Well, I'm dead, so it's not my turn anymore.
Ollie from
Right, it's
me?
like, I'm dead as fuck.
Ollie's definitely approached closer to her, so he's probably about 15 feet away from you. She leans down and picks up your horn, and she goes, "I will show you what cruel means to protect my people." And she holds up the number 3 with her fingers. And the guard that is near the table that pulled everyone away, that's still holding young Alice, takes his knife and kills her. And the
No,
child.
I'm gonna hellish rebuke and reaction.
Go ahead. Are you hellish rebuking in a specific direction, or are you just ah?
You've done that before. You know that
Okay, so
platform.
Alice is dead, right? Alice is dead.
She's about to
I am
die. She's
going
like,
to hold on. Let me see the
she's
range.
not going to live in time for healing to help. If that math makes sense, she's gonna have like a word.
Okay. So I'm trying to see the radius of this. Give me a second. Oh, it's just a creature. The creature that. Oh, never mind. I can't do it. I'm kidding. Well, no, I can't. It has to be damaging me. I can't do it.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Hellish rebuke is a reaction for people damaging you. That's true. Celia kind of looks over first at I was gonna say the queen, not the queen. First at Melian, then at her daughter as Alice goes, "Mom," and she's holding out the paper that she drew, which I will post up in the stream at this time because I know it's gonna make all of y'all feel so great.
You're a monster.
Yes,
You're a monster.
there it is.
No, Eddie, stop.
Please
stop.
It's right there. Make it smaller.
He spells it with a K, and I'm kind of mad about that.
What?
And the paper hits the ground, and as the paper hits the ground, everything goes silent, and the temperature drops like 30 degrees.
See,
And Celia's hair starts to glow white. And that is the end of episode 5.
I was about to say, time to get the fuck out of here, guys.
No.
But never mind. Got away with
No,
that.
bro.
Just remember, start of next week, it's gonna be Morrow's hands, so it's time to get the fuck out of here, guys.
I am going to stand. I don't know.
No.
I'm
That's
in
the
trauma
end.
mode.
That is the
I don't
end
know
of
what
episode
he's gonna
5.
do.
You're going to have to figure that out for next week.
No.
Well,
No.
It's
I'm
not
not.
over.
That was
She's
an
like, it's
after
not over.
Their actions are
comment. I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
No,
Oh,
I
man.
wasn't trying to.
No. You're good. You're
It
good.
was
You're
an
good.
after comment.
You are absolutely good. No
Not there
worries.
yet.
Oh, man. How you guys feeling? Okay. Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
said it.
Okay, so let's just get out of here, cause
so,
what's up? What's up, Scarecrow?
in our alignments, logically, she's a good guy, right?
Celia?
For
We
the
treat
parties,
Celia well,
like,
which is now
Yeah.
actually Alice. Little Alice was her
Exactly.
daughter, AJ,
Mhm.
Alice Jr.
Yeah, he did the flea flicker on us. I caught that as soon as I saw the picture.
Celia
But
is CELIA.
mm-hmm,
It's an anagram of
that's Celia.
Alice. Yeah,
No, I
her
see it.
name's
I
been
see
Alice
it.
the
No,
whole time.
listen. So I grasped that when I saw the photo, but I didn't want to say anything and Bogart everything because we were in chaos because she literally had, the way the photo's set up. But without the photo, you have no, yeah,
I
shit.
have absolute faith that Alice will absolutely destroy this princess and be on our side at this point. Gonna be honest, this was her canon event, and we were very good to her.
Yeah. Normally yes, but in all like nerddom lore, when someone goes through a traumatic event to gain their power, they do some more like
This isn't
traumatic
in her
shit in that
power.
first time.
She's always had her power. That's how
Oh
Alice
yeah, she's
works.
old now. She's old.
Yeah, but
We're
she's
gonna
always had
have
her
to
power.
figure
Anyways,
out all
yeah,
of those ins and outs next week. I'm glad y'all are excited for it. Yeah, to leave back. Don't make that face. People, please. There's still a meanwhile.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I don't think I had music for it, so I'll just say it. You know what? Actually, screw it. I'm just gonna click a random one, and we're just gonna go with that one. This one. Meanwhile, this actually works exceptionally well. Meanwhile, somewhere in Kalen, a woman looks up to the sky and goes, "Oh, finally!" And she drops her basket of food that she's carrying amongst this market. And a person runs up to her and goes, "Excuse me, miss, you dropped this." And before he has the chance to reach it, he bursts into blood. Thank you so much for watching episode 5.
That's
It
Melanie.
was a good music choice.
Oh, they get their powers at the same time. No. I don't know what we're gonna do with Melanie, but Alice, I'm not worried about. Holy shit,
Folks,
sickles.
please tell the people who you are, who you play. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to point out Stone Bear Gaming's comment from like 45 minutes ago. Suddenly, vampire. Well,
Except he was talking about little Alice.
Right.
yes, I understand that, but
Called it.
it aged very well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Nicely done. Folks, please. I'm going to go reverse alphabetical order. So, Raven, all the way up to Adriana. Please tell the people who you are, who you play, and where they can find you.
Hi, I am Violet. I play Raven Finley. You can find me on TikTok at Violently Colored or here on Roll for Drama.
Hi, I'm Deontay. I play Oliver Whaley, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Dapper_Making 2.0, and you can find me here on Roll for Trauma.
I'm Scarecrow. I play Marrow. You can find me here at Roll for Drama.
Alex.
Onyx. I play Beatrix. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Icy Onyx and here on Roll for Trauma, being traumatized.
It's fitting. Hi, I'm Cole. I play Adriana Andres. And you can find me on TikTok at Cholioli, just like my Twitch name, or here on Roll for Trauma. Really fucking things up for a lot of people.
Well done, players. Folks, I am Eddie. I am known as the Architect. You can find me here. You can find me at mystery_online. I never actually say this stuff, I just realized. But thank you so much for watching. The story is getting great. Episode 5 was a blast. Thank you guys so much. I had a good time with it. We'll talk about that in a minute in our afters. Say bye, players.
Players.
Hi, players.